On Kochie's Business Builders, top tech solutions to save your small business time and money. Plus, how a passion to be clean and green is paying off for a family-run business. And the chief executive who knows all about smashing glass ceilings, her top tips on how to succeed in business. Hello and welcome to Kochie's Business Builders. Does your small business have a number of employees working off-site from day to day? If that's the case, then chances are you're relying on a number of different tools to collaborate, and I'll bet you're paying too much. So what are the best applications to use, not only to streamline the way staff connect, but also to save your business from forking out unnecessary monthly subscriptions? This is a problem being faced by a financial advice startup, which is keen to find out if it's being smart with its tech. This is the mothership of Advisor Ratings, Australia's first transparent and independent service to find, rate and review financial advisors. In simple terms, it's the TripAdvisor for financial advice. Chief Operating Officer Jane Brands is focused on making sure the business is based on using the best tech available. So we sent in Microsoft's master trainer, Daniel McAvoy, to help.
How do people find Advisor Ratings and where do they use it?
So we're a web-based platform. Consumers can search on Google for a financial advisor. The advisors' names will come up with their star ratings next to their name within the search results. And then once they get to our platform, that's the main aim of the homepage. So they can search for a financial advisor based on location, gender, rating, a number of other factors.
How many people do you have working on the team and are they all here?
We have probably 20 all up. 8 people in the office most days, and then we have various people off-site, and that can be off-site in Macedonia, India, China, and an off-site in Sydney.
Do you often have team members collaborating, and how often do they need to do that?
We need to collaborate constantly. Because of that diversity in terms of location, we need to be able to collaborate online at all times.
So what sort of collaborative tools do you use right now?
Dropbox, when we're collaborating amongst team members that don't necessarily have an Advisor Ratings domain email address. Google Drive when it's within the domain. Obviously we use Gmail, Calendar. At times we've used Trello, Asana, Harvest, Tom's Planner.
Wow.
So a number of different ways of collaborating across a document as well as communicating. Amongst the team. PowerPoint, we haven't been able to get to a point where we can collaborate on a presentation document at the same time easily. We have trialled some products, but yeah, it would be good to sort of streamline all of that, definitely.
Okay, great. I noticed that everybody has a different device here. There's a number of devices from Mac and HP and such. How do you all choose which devices you bring to work?
Partly personal preference, and partly if we have contractors working with us, for example, they'll bring their own device. And then also because we were a startup, so we would bring in various pieces of equipment from home. We are using a lot of different tools to collaborate at Advisor Ratings. Is that normal for a business?
It is fairly normal for a business. You can find that over time you'll run into different applications and try them out, and they'll work for what you want to do, and you'll end up paying monthly subscriptions for a number of different applications, and some of them might even do the same thing as the last app that you used. So it's really important to look at what you're using and find a way to sort of bring them all together and really streamline what you're doing.
Sounds like a great plan. I, for one, know that all those monthly subscriptions can really add up. We've just done a clean-up in my business. Coming up, Microsoft's recommendations on the best technology for Advisor Ratings to operate from day to day. Has your business been hit with a bad review? If you decided to ignore it and hope it disappears into cyberspace, think again. A new service-seeking report found 8 in 10 consumers check online reviews before engaging with a business. 1 or 2 negative reviews won't be the end of the world, though. Researchers say if the majority of reviews are good, prospective customers will feel they are seeing a true picture of your business. But if the business ranks less than 3 stars, you'll win 88% fewer clients than those with more than 3 stars. That equates to a $27,000 difference in trade each year. So what should you do if your business cops a bad review? Researchers say the best thing an owner can do is respond in a way that will win over customers. That means accepting mistakes and putting customers first. You're watching Kochie's Business Builders. Today we're focusing on hardware and software solutions to streamline a small business. Advisor Ratings is a startup that has 20 employees collaborating from different states and countries each day. Let's check back in with our expert from Microsoft to see what options are available to make collaboration easy and, not to mention, more affordable.
It's a relief to hear that we're not the only business that's using too many software apps. How can we streamline it?
Well, Microsoft actually has a really nice platform called Microsoft Teams, which sort of streamlines everything from your instant messaging to your collaboration and projects to your official comms within your organization and puts it into one place. And there's some really great plugins to bring in maybe some existing tools that you're using and have them all into the one spot.
That sounds really interesting. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Is that just part of our Microsoft Office Suite subscription?
So Microsoft Teams comes as part of some of the business subscription packages. You can check out our website if you want to find out exactly which subscriptions come down with Microsoft Teams. But there is a number of ways that you can get your hands on it, and it'll be really great for your business.
What exactly do I get?
So Microsoft Teams is this really great place that's sort of built with a SharePoint or OneDrive background. Effectively, anything that you put onto Teams and that your team is collaborating with will live in that Teams channel on a SharePoint. So you mentioned before that you use some other services for online storage and collaboration. That'll be all in the one place. You can also instant message people. So instead of having to go to different applications to IM somebody across the channel and find out what they're doing or ask where they're at with a project, you can do that right within the application. And you can do that even on the document that you guys are working on.
Right. So I imagine that if we're using one application with all of the tools that we need in it, that it's going to be better from a security point of view?
We've built tools in there to make sure that access isn't granted to just anybody, and only the people that you allow into the Teams channel can access the documents.
Some of us have Macs. Is it compatible with our current systems if some of us have Macs and some of us have PCs?
Absolutely. Microsoft's all about helping you engage with your work wherever and however you want to. So we've made sure that Microsoft Teams is available both on Mac and Windows, up from Windows 7, also on your smartphone as well, Android, iOS, even a Windows phone. It's all available on those platforms.
Great. Productivity and efficiency are really important to us, and we know that upgrading our tech on a regular basis enables that. What sort of products would you recommend for a team like ours?
Collaboration is obviously key for you. It sounds like you have a lot of people out in the field. Whether or not you're working in a coffee shop or in the office, I think Microsoft Surface Pro would be perfect for you. Make sure that you look out for the latest Intel Core processors. They'll make sure that you have that efficiency that you need from your device, and you'll know that you're getting the most up-to-date device possible.
Look how far technology has come. Sounds like Microsoft Teams will be a great option for Advisor Ratings, which should be able to ditch a few of those costly subscription services as well. The one platform combines instant messaging, meetings, notes, and attachments. And like Daniel mentioned, it will integrate with all devices. Sounds the trick. All right, now to our pillars of success, helping you build solid foundations. This week, Inventium's Amantha Imber is talking innovation.
Today's pillar of success is all about how to find opportunities for growth. One of the most common mistakes companies make is creating products or services that no one actually wants. To avoid this common mistake, you need to go out and speak to some customers and understand what frustrates them with the current set of products and services in your category. To uncover customer frustrations, spend time observing your customer using your product or service. Look for annoyed facial expressions and keep an eye out for workarounds. And listen out for when they curse. In addition to watching customers, ask them questions around what frustrates them about your product or service, competitors' offerings, and the industry in general. Once you've identified frustrations, prioritise the ones that are the most frustrating, the most important for the customer to solve, and the ones that happen most frequently. And from there, start to craft challenges for your team or your organisation to solve.
Coming up, the restaurateurs who have built a successful business with a special focus on preservation. That story is next.
Hi, I'm Heather Brunner, and I'm the CEO of WP Engine. And my top 3 tips for aspiring leaders are to ensure that you have a clear sense of your values, clear sense of vision, and a clear sense of victory. High-performing teams want to know that they're working for an organization that has a clear sense of core values. What do you stand for? What does integrity mean to you? What's your sense of humanity as a business? Make that clear and make your core values truly the operating system of your company. Second, companies and teams want to know what's your vision for the future. What does success look like when you get there? Why does it matter? What's the purpose behind all the efforts that you're driving your business towards? Having that clear sense of vision creates that North Star that really rallies your team together. And finally, victory. What does victory look like? What does success look like when you get there? Why does it matter? How will you measure it? And how will you celebrate?
Now to a business which was built by a husband and wife team with a passion for the environment. Their restaurant, Love.fish, dishes out seafood that isn't subject to overfishing, with a strong focus on being clean and green at all times. So let's find out how they made the business work in a very competitive hospitality industry.
Well, we had various business opportunities that we were involved in, consultancy, and also we had a couple of catering contracts. But realised that we wanted to go out on our own rather than be in business with somebody else. So we looked around, weren't sure if we wanted to get a restaurant because we know how difficult it is to run and operate a restaurant. But when we found the one near where we were living in Rozelle, we knew that that was the place to start.
We actually founded our first restaurant, Love.fish, in 2010, which really at that point was a sort of combination of all of our hard work and knowledge, and we were really ready to go out by ourselves.
Seeing where the market was, what kind of offerings there were, what was lacking in the offerings in Sydney at that time, we had very high-end and very low-end offerings. So we thought that we needed to offer a casual environment.
The trend was really moving towards people wanting to understand where their food came from, but also moving towards that they want to eat out more than once. They want to eat out more frequently and spend less money when they do dine out, and really recognising that where the market was heading. Love.fish stands for having a passion for all things Australian, for celebrating our amazing produce, for showcasing our seafood in an approachable setting and in an affordable way.
We like the fact that we have that accountability and traceability, and we find that our diners really want to experience something from the point of view of knowing where their fish is being caught, how it's being caught, where it's from, what it's eaten to get to the table, to know that the Australian alcohol producers are having a spotlight shone on them for a change.
Yeah. We've been going for 8 years, and we have, I think, managed to transfer all the feelings from and the core values from a small family-run restaurant over to a much larger harbourside precinct. One of the highest costs you have within a restaurant will be wages, particularly somewhere like here. So wages and supplies, we have to pay them every week, and we don't always, we might not always have the best week for trade if the weather's not good, very weather dependent here. So cash flow sometimes can get really tight, and really cash flow can make or break a business. We're very lucky. We've had a long-standing relationship with Amex. We use their card quite often to pay suppliers, and that gives us an extra 51 days in our cash flow, so that helps us plan ahead and make sure that we're always on track.
Well, we'd love to take a holiday. We've been working diligently for a year and a half. We're exhausted.
And we've actually finally got all those American Express points from that we've got accumulated, so we're actually going to have a free holiday with the kids, so we can't wait.
Can't wait.
Having a restaurant it's been an amazing experience for us. It's defined us and our family and the way we move forward, and I can't, as crazy as the last 20 years have been, I can't imagine us doing it any other way.
No.
And did you know a recent report by American Express found more customers than ever are demanding more ethical and sustainable products and services, which is great news for love.fish. Up next, Ask Kochie. You throw me a business question, I'll do my best to answer it.
You've heard of HTTPS, right? Well, if for some reason you haven't, and probably most of us haven't, HTTPS stands for Secure Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it's essentially a safer way to send web pages around the internet. There is now a growing trend to move all websites and pages from HTTP to HTTPS. Web browsers such as Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge will soon display a message that regular HTTP pages you visit are not secure. And this is sort of like naming and shaming, and Google has also been downranking these sites, meaning they will be harder to find in search results. So, if you have a website, what can you do to ensure your pages are HTTPS? First, purchase an SSL certificate and install it on your website. Next, change your website links from HTTP to HTTPS so users don't see 404 errors or page not found. You'll then need to notify search engines that the site's addresses have changed via 301 redirects. Now, most web hosting companies sell SSL certificates, and they can do some of these items for you. Also, there's lots of help on the internet to look up.
It's Ask Kochie time, and this week, a not-for-profit business got in touch asking how to make someone an employee.
Hi Kochie, my name is Jody. I'm the founder of a charity called Campbelltown Lost, Found and Injured Pets. We started the volunteer group 5 years ago, offering a free after-hours service for lost and found pets, as well as injured strays. My partner and I are looking at ways that I can become an employee of the organisation. However, we don't want to use the donations from the public to make up my wages. We'd really appreciate your advice and help. Thank you.
Look, thanks for getting in touch, Jody. Sounds like you're doing some great work out there in the community. Firstly, I've done my research on you, and a little birdie told me you won Citizen of the Year for Campbelltown. Well done. Also, Campbelltown Lost, Found and Injured Pets won Community Group of the Year in 2017. So your volunteer group is really making a positive impact. You must be incredibly proud. So, Jody, if you're struggling to get by on your partner's wage and your own casual wage, I agree. You should be bringing in some extra money to make ends meet. You've got a few options at your fingertips, but your best bet, I reckon, is to apply for a government grant. You're already well known within the local community, having won all those awards. Local, state and federal governments give out grants every year to community organisations just like yours. So why don't you go for it? How do you make it happen? Well, to apply for grants or funding, you'll have to do some checks and have some checks available. Your constitution documents, your rules, will need to have a clause allowing it to receive funds from outside bodies. Now, you may need to engage a lawyer to help you do this, but it's going to be worth it. Secondly, many government organisations will only give out grants and funds to community organisations that are incorporated. Philanthropic organisations can only give grants or funding to organisations that have deductible gift recipient tax status or DGR. If you successfully apply for a grant, it'll come with obviously a series of conditions attached, with the grant maker, be it a local, state or federal government, really wanting some accountability, and that's fair enough. So Jody, you'll have to let them know how Campbelltown Lost, Found and Injured Pets will spend the grant money. You may have to funnel the grant money towards the service side of the business and then use your current community donations to pay your wage. There's actually nothing wrong with doing that. If you don't want to go down the road of applying for government grants, you could also approach corporate sponsors, for example. So maybe a local pet shop could donate some products to allow you to put donations towards a wage. Also, think about selling pet merchandise or even offering animal training activities like puppy preschool as a way of gaining more funding to keep your service going. So Jody, I hope that helps. Gives you a few thought starters on how you can earn extra income. Good luck with it. And also, don't forget, if you have a question you'd like answered, be sure to send it in to kbb@pinstripemedia.com.au and I'll do my best to answer it. Next week, the benefits of a shared office space and why it doesn't have to cost you the earth. But don't forget to join our Facebook Live discussion every Monday afternoon from 12:30 Eastern. See you next week for more Kochie's Business Builders.